It takes a long time to put the legislation together to control the people.
Politicians work hard to control the people. That was no ordinary congressman. That's John Dingell. He's been in office 59 years. Yes, 59. Here he is with President Truman. Dingell's father was a congressman, too. He was first elected in 1933. He died in office and was replaced by his son. Dingell Jr. will finally retire this year. Next year, his district will be represented by a younger person, a woman, Debbie Dingell. Wait, Dingell? Same name? Oh, yes, his wife. Debbie worked for GM. The family made millions from GM, while Congressman Dingell pushed for 5 bailouts for GM. Aside from protecting his hometown automaker, Dingell's been as much of a control freak as anyone in Congress. The Endangered Species Act, Dingell's website says he wrote the ESA. I wonder what Debbie will control. She's almost 30 years younger than John, so maybe she'll stay in office 59 years too. That'll give her plenty of time to ban lots of things. Do they ever unban anything? Well, occasionally.
From this day on, the 18th Amendment is doomed.
They did legalize alcohol after they banned it, and now a few states have legalized weed, but generally the control freaks only increase control. Take cigarettes. At first it was just warning labels, then bans on TV ads, then they required restaurants to have no smoking sections. Then came the bans on airplanes, schools, workplaces, entire restaurants, then bars too. And now sometimes apartments and outdoor spaces even. I mean, frankly, I like the bans. I don't smoke. I've come to hate the smell of secondhand smoke, but can't smokers have some bars? No one has to come in here. Can't a smoker who after work looks forward to an evening like this with a cigarette in his hand have this moment? No. In about half of America, this is now illegal, and state by state, the smokers just take it. And by the way, the secondhand smoke scare turns out to be bunk. But the smokers still take it. When the nanny state gives its commands, most everyone quietly just gives up his freedom. That's why I was encouraged by last week's town meeting, where after that town wanted to ban all tobacco sales, hundreds of people showed up and complained.
I find smoking to be one of the most disgusting habits anybody could possibly do. On top of that, I find this proposal to be even more of a disgusting thing that anybody could ever give any town in the United States of America.
Maybe that pushback will stop that ban in that town, but the control freaks always want more.
There are about 50 cities with their own plastic bag ban.
A ban on large capacity ammunition magazines.
Boycott the sale of alcohol.
You should be banned from coming to the United States.
We should use every reasonable precaution.
It's always more. On this show, I talk a lot about economic freedom. The world now knows economic freedom is what creates prosperity. Prosperity is a big deal, but the free part, which sounds a little vague, is just as important. Individual choices matter. I object to restrictions on choice not because I like choice, or not just because I like choice. It's a moral objection. When government limits our control over our own lives, we become less. Something changes in our character. We become smaller. People on the left and right believe government should promote good things, discourage bad ones. If you're on the right, maybe you think government should promote marriage or religious charities. Maybe you think it should ban porn, pot, and violent video games. But if it's government's job to promote what's good and suppress the bad, that's a license for the control freaks to stick their noses into everything we do. Politicians and voters can dream of controls in our constantly changing world. No more destructive gambling. Every prairie dog is preserved. High-interest loans vanish. Your health care is paid for efficiently by strangers in Washington. Politicians can dream about that, but they can't do it. No, they can't, and they shouldn't try. As Friedrich Hayek said, the curious task of economics is to demonstrate to men how little they really know about what they imagine they can design.